Yes, I hope my screen is visible. Okay, today actually we have arranged this session specifically for GATE, and this is under AICT sponsored Prerna Center. Okay, and generally for SC/ST student category, but we are giving it to all students. Okay, what we are discussing. Just will overlook the contents which comes under the machine design, and actually there is only 3 to 4 marks I think weightage for this subject. If you check it for the previous papers of gate, then you can look, you can get over their idea that 3 to 4 marks weightage is for this machine design. Okay, and today just will overlook the overall scenario of this subject machine design, under which whatever now you are learn that subject. Okay, that is uh, design of machine element. Okay, but this is the actually the machine design comes under the two categories as per our university syllabus. Okay, that is design of machine element. Earlier it was design of machine element 1 and design of machine element 2. First semester was DME 1 and second was DME 2. So that machine design is a combination of this machine design subject. Okay, so actually we have learned the design of machine element subject. Okay, in this semester. Okay, in next semester you are going to learn that the various types of gearboxes, various types of gears. Okay, so the combination of these two machine design part is nothing but the machine design. Okay, this combination, the whole machine design is covered under this gate syllabus. Okay, so what you can do, you can just just we will today we will go through it only, that overview of this machine design. Okay, now you already learned it, but just today we'll overlook it and it will be beneficial to you from upcoming oral as well as from the upcoming exam point of view. Now you are actually, now you are in the third year. Okay, so in this time you are going to face this gate exam, so at least you will get the idea, because in next year, once again in the next year you are going to give that gate exam once again. So but at least you will get the idea right now. Okay, so this time you will get the idea what type of questions will be there and how much will be the difficulty of the questions is there. Okay, that you are going to learn. Okay, so it's very good that the IITs have decided to just resume the third year students also to give the exams. Earlier, the third year actually when I was in engineering, that I also given that exam in a third year. But in between again they have stopped it. Just they have allowed only last year students to give that exam. But once again they have revoked it to give that third year students can also give that exam. So it's very good opportunity to you also, because the gate from gate once you will get the once you will crack the gate exam, you will have the good opportunities. Okay, in a higher studies or in a placement also, because the PSUs, the public sector companies, they are recruiting the candidates those who are cracked the gate exams only. Okay, other guys, other candidates, they are not entertaining it. So it's very good platform to show your talent to get it. And if you want to go for the higher studies, and if you want to grab the good institute like NITs, IITs, then you should crack these exam gate exams. Okay, so that you will definitely you will get the admission in IIT or NIT. Okay, if you are having the good score in a gate exam. Okay, because the IIT NITs, they are only just they are only admitting the students those who are having good score in a gate. Okay, so this is very good platform. Okay, if you don't want to go for a higher study, but if you crack that exam, then you are also eligible to get placed in a PSU company. Okay, like National Thermal Power Plant, Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum. Like these are the PSU's company, Hindustan Petroleum, HP. Okay, so these are the petroleum companies or the public sector units which totally run by the central government. So you will have a very good package in that case. Okay, so the cracking the gate exam is most important to get in such a companies. Okay, so you just focused it on it. Okay, you just now this time you can give that exam, but you will get the idea how's the pattern of this exam and how much is the difficulty level. Okay, but in next year also, if you are having that much confidence, this time also you can crack it, no any doubt. but at least you will get idea. Those who are not serious that much, they can at least get the idea how the pattern is there. Okay, and in next year you have a whole 1 year next. Okay, in next year you can prepare for it. You can daily give 1 hour to this gate point of view. You can do it study daily 1 hour, and then definitely you can crack it. There is no any difficulty to crack gate exam. Okay, so you just, because there are a lot of videos also, tutorials are also available on YouTube. There is no need to go to any class, special class for gate. Okay, whatever we are just learning day to day life, okay, in college or in the lectures, that is only means there is no need to do any special preparation for it. Whatever you are learning day to day life, okay, in engineering, that is there, but just you need to go for some advanced level, that's it only. Okay, and this exam is totally based on basics. Okay, if you have the strong basics, then you can definitely solve the problems, okay, which comes under the gate exam. And the cracking of this gate exam is not that much difficult. Okay, so you can try for it. Okay, everyone, just you can prepare for it. Those who are really want to go for higher study, or for want to go for the any PSU companies, they should definitely do the practice of daily 1 hour, and just you can go for this gate exam. Okay, so now I think we will start with the discussion right now. Okay, yes, if you want to ask anything about this, you can just ask me. Yes, Mandar, anyone, Omkar, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because what happened right now in front of me, the screen is totally only the slide I can see, the background I can't see. Okay, so just you can you can disturb me at meanwhile if you have any doubt. Okay, and if you want to ask anything, you can ask me. Okay. Yes, so this is the session one, which comes for the machine design, okay, and which is under AICT sponsored Prerna Center that we have at our college, and this is specifically for the category students, okay. So we have already discussed in our lectures in design of machine element. So what is machine design, okay, and how that machine design means, what is the main purpose of the machine. Okay, and what is mean by the machine design. Okay, so the machine design is what it is, a we can say, we can use the various principles, okay, the technical informations, and vary the imagination of any particular device, okay, or the description of the machine or mechanical system to perform any specific task, okay, or to perform any specific function with maximum economy and efficiency. So we can just uh, we can perform any means we are developing any machine to perform any particular task. Okay, because nowadays we are having a lot of machines, just human being have generated, and they are specifically to less the efforts of human being. Okay, so that's why, and the machine is very, nowadays it's a very important part of our day to day life. So that machine is now a very important part of the human being for day to day life. Okay, so how to create that machine, we need to use the scientific principles, the technical information, and the imagination, okay, in the description of the machine or a mechanical system. Okay, so that it can perform the specific function with the maximum economy and efficiency. Okay, now because just we are going through it, now you are having your NSEM exam also, but don't know whether it may be in online mode. Okay, so I don't know, but from that point of view also, if you have the good fundamentals knowledge, then giving that MCQ exam is also very easy. Okay, so machine design is what it is, the creation of the plans for the machine to perform the desired function. Means for doing that specific function, we are creating that machines, or we are generating the machines. Okay, and they are, the machines maybe they are entirely in a new concept. Okay, they may be performing a new type of work, or they are maybe more economically performed to work economically perform the work that can be done by the existing machine. म्हणजे एखादं जुनं मशीन सुद्धा असतं ते that we can also upgrade, okay, to the newer one, so that it can do the more work, okay, as compared to the existing one, okay. Or it may be an improvement or enlargement of an existing machine for a better economy and capability. So this is what the machine design, okay. So that design is the part which comes behind the machine. Then the machine, you can see that just only the machine which can perform the specific task, okay. But behind that, the lot of work we need to do, like from the designing, just finding the mechanism, just their manufacturing. So lot of rigorous work behind every machine is there, okay. Then this is the basic procedure, okay, we have already discussed it. So first you need to find out, yes, there are a lot of problems in day-to-day life we are coming across, okay. And how we can, how we can reduce that task, okay, in very less efforts, okay, that we can achieve by means of a machine, okay. So when you are going through any problems, first we need to find, you need to find out what type of a problem it is and how we can overcome by using a machine. So that's why you first need to do the market survey, okay. So likewise, the human being, they have formed the vehicles, two wheelers, four wheelers, okay. Why it was get conceptualized? Because just man understand, yes, we need to go from one place to the another. Let's consider 100 kilometer, 200 kilometer. Earlier, 70 to 80 years back or 100 years back, it was very situation is that the human can't go from one place to another in very less time. I don't know it, okay. The human being was getting used the bullock carts, okay, or they are going just walking just 100 200 kilometers, and it was 8 to 10 day journey was there. But now it is very easy to go from one place to another, and having how much, and having a lot of distance we can cover it by means of vehicles. That is what the idealization of the human being. So that's why human just created two wheelers and four wheelers. So that's why that was the problem, and the human find out the solution for it to go for one place to the another. So that's why first we need to do, now there are a lot of vehicles, four wheelers, two wheelers are available. There are a lot of modifications come now, okay. So that's why to find out any solution first, just to find out the what is the problem, okay, now nowadays the human being facing. So that's why we need to first do the market survey, okay. So first we will do the market survey, then we will define the specifications of the product. Okay. Once we will do the market survey, then we will come to know what is the problem the human being or the society is facing. Okay. And then once we will get the problem, then we can think that point of view and we can find out the solution for that particular problem. So to find out the problem, first we need to do the market survey. Okay. And then once you will get the problem, then you can go for the solution of it by making machine of that particular problem. Okay. So you can define the specifications of the product, then you can study the alternative mechanism for the product, and the you can select the proper mechanism for it. Okay. So you can, alternative mechanism is every machine is having mechanism, right? If you take the example of a four wheeler, two wheeler, there are a lot of mechanisms. The steering system, suspension system, then engine, there are the axle, wheels, there are a lot of mechanisms are available to just to form that two wheeler or four wheeler. Okay. So you need to define the specifications of the product, you need to study the alternative mechanism for the product, and you, out of which you need to select the proper mechanism for that particular machine which will do the particular task. Okay. Then you need to prepare the general layout of configuration. Okay. And you need to select the joining methods between the individual component of the product. Okay. Means, and then you can design the individual component. Means once you will do the problem define, then you need to define the specifications, then you need to study the alternative mechanism of the product, and you need to, then after that, you need to select the proper mechanism. Okay, which mechanism will be the better one, so accordingly you can select the proper mechanism. Then you can prepare the general layout of the configuration. Okay, general layout of the configuration you can prepare, and then you can select the joining method, like if you want the welding or the another joining like nut and bolt arrangement or riveted joint, or the stick joint. So any type of a joint you can select according to the configuration between the individual component of the product. Okay, after that then you can design the individual component. Okay, because you know the machine is not a single quantity, it is the assembly of the lot of quantities which comes together, and they are joined by means of any type of a joining method, and then only your final machine will get created. Okay, so you need to design first the individual component, then you need to assemble it, and then only your machine will get created. Okay, then last one is to you need to prepare the assembly and detailed drawing, and you can modify that drawing after testing prototype model. Okay, so this one is the last step. You will design it, you will manufacture it, and finally you will assemble it. Okay, and the assembled product will be the your final product which will be ready to do that particular task. Okay, so you need to prepare the assembly and detailed drawings, and you can accordingly you can modify that drawing after testing the prototype model. Okay, so this is what the basic procedure of the machine design. Every machine designer has to follow this strategy while just formulating any machine. Okay, so this is what the basic procedure of the machine design. Okay, yes, now the next part is the what are the basic requirements of the machine element. Okay, so the machine is consist of the elements, right? So it is not a single quantity, it consists of the various machine elements, and each part of the machine which has the motion with respect to some other is called as the machine element. Okay, and that machine element can be classified into two groups, that is general purpose and special purpose. Okay, so the general purpose is what you can use it anywhere. Okay, for general purpose you can use it, but for the special purpose machine you can just design that particular machine for that special task. Only one task that machine will do, that is what the special purpose machine element. Okay, so and then the broad objective of the designing a machine element is to ensure that it will prevent its operating capacity during the stipulated service life with minimum manufacturing and operating cost. Okay, and in order to achieve this objective the machine element should satisfy the basic requirement. Okay, सो कुठलेही मशीन एलिमेंट तुम्ही हे करताना त्याची सर्व्हिस लाईफ पण जास्त असली पाहिजे, आणि मिनिमम मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग आणि त्याची ऑपरेटिंग कॉस्ट असली पाहिजे. अदरवाइज व्हॉट विल हॅपन, युअर मशीन विल हॅव अ more value. Okay, it will have a more value if your components are not in a minimum range. Okay, so in order to achieve this objective the machine element should satisfy the following basic requirement. Now what are that requirement every machine should satisfy? The first one is the strength. Okay, so the machine part should not fail under the effect of forces that act on it, so it should have a minimum strength or sufficient strength to avoid the failure. Okay, okay, otherwise what will happen, your machine structure will get failed or it may get fractured due to the yielding. Okay, so that your component should have a sufficient strength. Okay, then rigidity. Okay, so rigidity is what a machine component should be rigid one. Okay, it should not deflect or bend too much due to the forces or movement which will act on it. Okay, it should be rigid one. Okay, and the transmission in many times. Okay, transmission shaft in many times what will happen, it is designed on the basis of a lateral and torsional rigidity, but sometimes what will happen, in such cases what will happen, the maximum permissible deflection, okay, and the permissible angle, okay, will be the criteria for the design, because the shaft will be designed on the two bases, on the basis of rigidity or on the basis of strength. Okay, so we need to check so that it will not get fail under any type of a load. Okay, so that strength and rigidity are the two most important. Then wear resistance is also most important. If your product is going to wear out very early, then the life of that product will be very less, it may not sustain for the longer life. Okay, as it may reduce the useful life of the component. Okay, so that's why wear and tear of your component should be also very less, or your product should be wear resistance. Okay, as you know, there are different types of wear, such as abrasive wear or corrosive wear or pitting. Okay, so these are the various types of wear happens to any particular product. Okay, so the surface hardening can also increase the wear resistance, so that surface hardening you can also do for your product. Okay, like gears and cams. These are the very crucial parts. Gears is the very most crucial part of any component. If your gear teeth are going to get failed, then the working of that particular gear, that is the transferring the torque or speed is will not happen. So that your gear and cam should be wear resistant. So it should be what you can do, you can do the surface hardening in that case if the particular product is of much prone to the wear. Okay, so that's why wear resistance is also most important part. Then minimum dimensions and weight. Your machine should have a minimum dimensions and weight, otherwise it may get very bulky. Okay, so that's why it should have a minimum dimension, okay, and minimum weight. And once you have the minimum dimension and weight, this will result in a minimum material cost. ओके, ज्यावेळी तुमचं डायमेन्शन आणि वेट हे कमी राहणार आहे त्यावेळेस ऑब्विसली तुमचं मटेरियलचं जे कॉस्टिंग असणार आहे ते सुद्धा कमी असणार आहे. त्यानंतर मॅन्युफॅक्चरेबिलिटी. युअर कंपोनंट शुड बी मॅन्युफॅक्चरेबल वन. इट शुड नॉट हॅव दॅट मच कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. ओके, सो it should be a very good for the fabrication and for the assembly. Okay, and the shape and the material that of that machine part should be selected in such way that it can be produced with the minimum labor cost. So the while manufacturing the component of for any machine, the manufacturing the labor cost should be minimum. Okay, so manufacturability should be very less. Then safety, the shape and dimensions of the machine. Yes, your product should be safe for all the operators as well as for the human being. If it is not safe, then it may be hazardous to the human being, and that is not good for the society. So it should be safety one. Then conformance to standards, so that while following or while designing any component, the designer should give the confirmation of the standards, either maybe national or international standards you need to follow. Okay, means that in that standards there is a standard dimensions will be there, grading and material profile. So these things are covered under the standards. Okay, so that's why we need to that designer need to conformance to that standards. Okay, he need to follow the various standards, ISO standard or international standard, national standards. Okay, then next is the reliability. Okay, the product should be reliable one, and the reliability is the of that product should be higher one. Okay, so that your machine part should be reliable and it should perform its function satisfactorily over its lifespan. Okay, then maintainability. Okay, a machine part should be maintainable. Its maintainability, okay, is as with which a machine part can be serviced or repaired. Maintainability means after 10 year 5 years, yes, definitely there will be a maintenance of any machine. कुठलंच मशीन असं नाही की त्याला मेंटेनन्स येत नाही आफ्टर 2 3 4 5 years, but don't know when it will come. Okay, but that meant it should be maintainable. Means after 5 years 10 years the product should be available in the market and it should be maintainable. Otherwise what will happen if they are not maintainable, then there is no use of that particular machine. Okay, so that product should be maintainable. That thing you need to consider while designing any problem. Then minimum life cycle cost. Okay, that life cycle cost is what the product life cycle management. Okay, so designer every time need to focus from the inception to the final end of the product. Okay, that management which comes under from the inception to the end of the product, that every designer need to follow it. Okay, that is minimum life cycle cost. Okay, it is the what the machine part life cycle cost of the machine part is the total cost to be paid by the purchaser, okay, for purchasing the part and operating and maintaining it over its lifespan. Okay, so that is what the operating and maintaining cost which comes under the life cycle cost. So it should be minimum one. Okay, so these are the points which comes under the we need to consider while designing any machine component. Okay, next is what design of machine element. Again there is a one cycle. Okay, machine element. Okay, कुठलाही जर तुम्ही part घेतला तर there is what machine element. Okay, once you will design it, manufacture the machine element, you can assemble it, and then finally your machine design product will get generated. Okay, so in that case, first is to you need to specify the function of the element. Okay, first when you are going to design any machine element, first you need to specify the function of that particular element. Okay, let's consider nut and bolt. Okay, so nut and bolt is generally to just to connect the two plates. Let's consider. Okay, if you want to connect the two plates by means of a one, okay, then you can just make a one drill and you can put the nut and bolt arrangement over there. Okay, so means you need to specify the function of the element. So why you are going to manufacture that nut and bolt? To join the two plates. Okay, then determine the forces which are acting on the element. Okay, then again you need to find out what are the forces which are acting. Then you need to select the suitable material for the element. Okay, means what, which material that you are going to use to manufacture that nut and bolt. Okay, that you need to decide whether cast iron or whether aluminum or any other material that you are going to use. So you need to define that particular, you need to define or you need to select the suitable material for it. Okay, then you need to determine the failure mode of element. Okay, how it going to be failed, that you also need to determine. Then you need to determine the geometric dimensions of the element. Okay, you just need to find out how much will be the diameter of the that diameter or the diameter of that head, then shank, how much length you are going to keep it. Okay, so that you need to decide, because if you know, in a market if you go, there are a lot of nut and bolts and screws are available having various dimensions, right? So according to the application you need to select that particular that nut and bolt arrangement. So just manufacturing the various types of nut and elements is also most important. Okay, and then after that you can modify the dimensions for the assembly and manufacture, and you can check the design at the critical cross sections, and then you can finally prepare the working drawing of the element. So that element is the most important part. Okay, you can't assemble any machine by means of without any machine element. So machine is nothing but it is the assembly of all the machine elements. Okay, so this is what the process you can follow while designing any machine element. Okay, the earlier was the machine design. What is the machine design? So which was earlier flowchart was for the machine design, and this one is for the design of a machine element. Okay, then material selection. Okay, so material selection is the most important part or the basic part of any designer. So that any designer need to consider the various factors while selecting the material, because whether this material is available or not, the costing which comes under it, then mechanical properties, then manufacturing considerations. Okay, so these 3 to 4 things which comes under the factors which comes under the selection of the material. Okay, so every time you need to check these factors while selecting any material. Okay, and material is most important step, because you need to find for what application you are going to manufacture that machine. Okay, so the best material is one which will serve the desired purpose at a minimum cost. म्हणजे मिनिमम कॉस्ट मध्ये पण तुमचं डिझायर पर्पज अचीव झाला पाहिजे. सो अशा पद्धतीचं तुम्हाला मटेरियल काय करावं लागेल, सिलेक्ट करावं लागेल. ओके, in cast iron. Okay, so in the cast iron material the properties are here. Okay, so in which the 2% carbon is available, and this is the typical composition of the ordinary cast iron. Okay, means how much percentage of carbon, silicon, manganese is available in that cast iron is given. Then advantages. Okay, so that cast iron is available in large quantity, is having higher compressive strength. Okay, so these are the various advantages. Okay, which is having external ability to dam the vibrations, more resistance to wear, then mechanical properties of this cast iron will not change between the room temperature and 350 degrees Celsius. So this cast iron is very reliable to use at any temperature condition. Then plain carbon steel, again there are 3 types: the low carbon, medium carbon, and high carbon steel. According to the carbon percentage, they are now divided into 3 types. Okay, then alloy steel is there. Okay, which is having more advantages. Silicon is there, manganese is there, this nickel is there. These alloys are having some different properties. If you add this silicon, manganese, nickel in base metal, then it may increase the strength, hardness without lowering the ductility. Okay, then it can increases the hardness, toughness, or also it can increases the depth of the hardening. It increases strength, toughness. Okay, so these are the three alloys which will give the higher advantages as compared to the base metals. Okay, so chromium is also so you can add these materials. Molybdenum is also there. Okay, because they are having certain properties, they can increase the hardness and wear resistance of any base metal. Okay, so these are the things you can consider while designing any product. Okay, then standardization. Okay, that standardization is what you can follow any standard while designing any component. Like there are company standards are there, national standards are there, or international standards are also there. So at least you need to follow any standards while designing any component. Okay, there are various standards available. Let's for the material. Okay, for the engineering drawing or materials, the mechanical properties, heat treatment, chemical composition. There are certain standards are there. You need to follow that standard. Then and then only your product will get approved. So there are Indian standard is there. Okay. Then SA is there. Society of Automotive Engineer is there. ISO there. International Standard Organization. Or some companies they are having their company standards. Okay, so in which their system concern companies or their main company, they are just following their company standards. Okay, so such type of standards are also there, and every designer need to follow that standards. Okay, and I think we have discussed this aesthetic, ergonomic, sequential, and simultaneous. So can you tell me what is sequential and simultaneous design process? What is the difference? Yes. Yes, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you tell me what is sequential and what is simultaneous? Here the diagram is in front of you.
सर सिक्वेन्शियल मध्ये सिक्वेन्स मध्ये ऑपरेशन्स परफॉर्म करतो.
Okay, and simultaneous.
पर्टिक्युलर सिक्वेन्स असतो.
सर सिक्वेन्शियलमध्ये स्मॉल म्हणजे कमी प्रमाणात स्टेप्स असतात ना सायमल्टेनियसपेक्षा. जास्त म्हणजे असं डिझाईन, प्रोडक्शन आणि सेल्स डायरेक्ट करतो. त्याच्याऐवजी इथं कस्टमर आणि रिअलेबिलिटी पण येते ना.
Okay. Yes, anyone, Mandar, what you want to say?
सर फर्स्ट वन मी सांगितलं.
Okay. And yes, simultaneous means what? Or concurrent त्याला आपण म्हणतो. बऱ्यापैकी आता concurrent हा word आलेला आहे. Sequential and concurrent. या डायग्राम बघून काय समजतंय का? ही फर्स्ट वाली आणि सेकंड. Any idea you are getting? Okay, what it shows, this is marketing department, this is design office, this is production department. Arrow is shown here. So can you tell me what happening in this?
सर पहिल्यांदा मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट डाटा गोळा करून डिझाईन ऑफिसला देणार. तिथनं डिझाईन
Mhm.
तयार होऊन ते प्रोडक्शनला जाणार आणि प्रोडक्शन नंतर सेल्स आणि सर्व्हिसला जाणार.
बर, हे म्हणजे सिक्वेन्शियल. ओके,
येस
देन व्हॉट
सिक्वेन्शियल ऑपरेशन.
येस मीन्स द सिक्वेन्शियली ऑपरेशन होत आहे, म्हणजे सिक्वेन्शियली डिझाईन प्रोसेस होते. म्हणजे मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंटची लोक म्हणजे मार्केट सर्वे केल्यानंतर त्यांना समजणार की बाबा नाही, हा हा प्रॉब्लेम आहे सोसायटीमध्ये, राईट. And they will give the idea to the design office, means they will suggest the problems in the society, and the design office will work on that problem. The designer are there, they will work on that problem, they will find out how we can minimize the problem of the society. Okay, once they will design, they will give that to the production department, and the production department will manufacture it. The design department, they will define the products. Okay, they will do the designing of the elements. Okay, then they will give it to the production department, and then production department Once it will get product will get ready, they will assemble it and your final product will be ready for the sales and the service department. So it is what the sequence is followed. Okay, so हे एकमेकांच्यात कुठेच आधीमध्ये येणार नाहीत. ह्यांचं काम मार्केटिंग कडून डिझाईनला गेले की ह्यांचं काम संपलं. डिझाईनचं एकदा डिझाईन करून प्रोडक्शनला गेले की डिझाईन वाल्यांचं काम संपलं. प्रोडक्शन कडून सेल्स कडे गेले की यांचं काम संपलं. मीन्स द ओनली सेल्स इज रिमेन. ओके, so this is what the sequence mean. They just follow the sequence. Okay, marketing, designing, production, and the sales. Okay, so can you tell me about this simultaneous design process or concurrent?
सर सगळं जे काय असेल ते डिझाईन डिपार्टमेंट पाशी येऊनच पडते.
बरं, मग याचा काय फायदा आहे इथे? काय याचा काय तोटा आहे, याचा काय फायदा आहे? Because here the same we are going here also, all department they are now giving the input to the design engineering. So what is the then which one is the better, the sequential or simultaneous? What's your opinion?
असं सिक्वेन्शियल,
Sequential is better.
कारण की सर ते सगळे डिपार्टमेंट एकत्रच येत आहेत डिझाईन मध्ये, ते मे बी कन्फ्युजन होऊ शकतं.
Okay, any other? Yes, any other guy? Mandar is saying sequential is better than simultaneous.
सर सायमल्टेनियसली म्हणजे बेटर आहे, कारण जरी सिक्वेन्शियली प्रत्येक वेगवेगळं करण्यापेक्षा डिझाईन डिपार्टमेंट एकत्र करू शकतो.
Okay. Yes. Any other guy? Which one is better?
सर
Sequential is good.
सर सिक्वेन्शियल मध्ये जर काय होऊ शकतं, प्रोडक्शन मध्ये जर काय इश्यू असतील तर ते डायरेक्टली डिझाईनला कन्सर्न करून पण ते ओव्हरकम केले जाऊ शकतात.
ओके, बट मग आता इथे तर सगळेच जण यांना हे करतायत डिझाईन डिपार्टमेंटला. सेल्सवाले आहेत, कस्टमर आहे, मॅन्युफॅक्चरेबिलिटी आहे, रिलायबिलिटी आहे, अर्गोनॉमिक्स वाले पण यांना रिपोर्ट करतायत, कॉस्टिंग वाले पण. सो सो फायनल व्हॉट्स युअर कॉल मंदार? दिस वन or this one or any other guys? I think someone have given answer that simultaneous, this concurrent is better. Yes, अजून कोण आहे प्रेझेंट? हियर आय कांट सी द नेम्स.
सर आदित्य,
Yes, Aditya is there, Akshay Garg is there. Who give the answer earlier other than you?
सर
Yeah, okay, Aditya. Yes, Akshay, Sanket, Vishal is there.
Sir, simultaneous.
Simultaneous is better. Okay, other guys, Sanket and Vishal, Akshay.
Yes, sir. Simultaneous is better, sir.
Simultaneous is better. Okay. Yes, Sanket and Vishal.
सर सायमल्टेनियस सर, बिकॉज कारण ते सगळ्यांपासून अप्रुव्हल भेटण्या. सर एक मिनिट डायग्राम दाखवता का?
हे
सर कसं होईल, मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट वगैरे त्यांना अप्रुव्हल देता येईल तोपर्यंत डिझाईन इंजिनियर त्याच्यावर काम करू शकतो आणि तो जे प्रोडक्ट आहे ते लवकर पास होऊ शकतं असं मला वाटतंय सर सायमल्टेनियस मध्ये.
सायमल्टेनियस मध्ये. ओके. येस मंदार.
सायमल्टेनियस.
Simultaneous, sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes, actually, the simultaneous design process is better. Okay, concurrent engineering आपण त्याला म्हणतो. Okay, so earlier was what the sequential design process. म्हणजे पूर्वी जे होतं ते मार्केटिंग वाले मार्केट सर्वे करणार. याचा अर्थ असा नाही की ह्यांनी मार्केट सर्वे करायचं नाही डिझाईन वाल्यांनी किंवा प्रोडक्शन वाल्यांनी, फक्त ते मार्केट टीम वाले सर्वे करणार, मग ते इथे आणून देणार. पण आता या बाबतीत बघा, कॉन्करंट इंजिनिअरिंगच्या बाबतीत कसं आहे, the customer requirement, they will directly report to the design department. Okay, we are having that issue. Okay, the manufacturing section, they will also give the idea to the design department. Yes, we are facing the problem while manufacturing these components. You just kindly take care of it. Are you getting my point? Okay. Then cost department, they will also suggest the design engineer to just try to keep the minimum cost of that product. ओके, जर हेच जर सिक्वेन्शियल मध्ये असतं तर काय झालं असतं, कॉस्टवाल्यांना जर त्या डिझाईनवाल्यांनी जर कन्सिडर केलं नसतं, देन व्हॉट इज गोइंग टू हॅपन, your product is going to get manufactured, and once it will going to go for the cost department, then cost department will not deny that the product value. Okay, but if you consider the cost department while at the inception of the product, then it may be better to launch your product at very less cost. Are you getting my point, Mandar?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that's why, yes, sales and servicing department, if they're having any issue, they can initially at inception state, they can report to the design engineer, because design engineering is the most important and crucial part of any product. Okay, so the design engineer plays, or design engineering department plays a major role. Are you getting it? So that's why this concurrent engineering means all the other department will come with the design department, and they will work together to incept or to create any new product. Okay, then and then only the other department will also give some ideas to the design engineer, and the design engineer will think that point of view, and he will consider all the parameters like costing, the sales and servicing, how we can sell the product, how will be the servicing of that product, how will be the maintenance of that product, what is the customer requirement, how we can manufacture. If all the department will come together, and if they will design the product, then ultimately it will be a very best product. Okay, ergonomically, aesthetically, reliability point of view, servicing point of view, or maintenance points of view. That's why nowadays the concurrent engineering concept is going to be used instead of sequential design process. Okay, so in sequential, because they are not in come in contact with each other, so only marketing will give to the design, design will give to the production, and the every department is going to face problems, and rectifying the problems in case of a sequential design engineering, it's quite difficult. Okay, so that's why now this methodology is now, no company is going to use it nowadays. The concurrent engineering concept is used in every industry. Okay, to get optimize the very less cost and very good product in the market. Okay, so this is what the concurrent, or याला आपण म्हणतो सायमल्टेनियस डिझाईन प्रोसेस. ओके, हे तुम्हाला कुठेही या कॉन्करंट आणि सिक्वेन्शियल हे कधी तुम्हाला पुढे आयुष्यात कधी विचारलं जाऊ शकतो. सो जस्ट कीप इन माइंड व्हॉट इज सिक्वेन्शियल अँड व्हॉट इज सायमल्टेनियस और concurrent. Okay, then aesthetic and ergonomic. So what is aesthetic and ergonomic? Can you tell me with example? Yes, aesthetic and ergonomic.
Ergonomics means,
Yes.
ergonomics means the relation between man and machine.
Any example? Man and machine. Yes, it is correct. Relationship between man and machine. So can you please
सर आपण
elaborate
कार
with
ड्रायव्हिंग
example?
करतो.
हाँ.
सर आपण कार ड्रायव्हिंग करतो सर, ते सीट ऍडजस्टमेंट असेल किंवा स्टेअरिंग ऍडजस्टमेंट असेल,
Correct. It is
that also
ergonomics
comes
concept.
under our.
Yes, means that consideration you need to consider while designing that particular system, right? Yes.
Yes,
Then
sir.
what is aesthetic? Yes.
For external appearance, such as color.
एक्सटर्नल
Yes.
असेल एखाद्या प्रोडक्ट.
येस, येस. प्रॉडक्टचा एक्सटर्नल अपीअरन्स किंवा लुक, जर तुम्ही आता जर मार्केटमध्ये पाहिला तर फर्स्ट वी विल इम्प्रेस बाय इज अस्थेटिक लुक, राईट? सो कधी कुठला आपण प्रॉडक्ट बघताना, तर समजा आता एकदम चांगलं उदाहरण घ्यायचं झालं तर मोबाईल. सो फर्स्ट व्हॉट वी विल सी हाऊ इट लुक्स, राईट? देन आफ्टर वी विल गो फॉर द कॉन्फिगरेशन, then laptop, mobile, any two wheeler, any four wheeler, first we will get impressed by its aesthetic look. म्हणजे आपण म्हणतो यार, what a look of that two wheeler, what a look of four wheeler. Okay, we will choose the color accordingly. There are a lot of color variants are also available in that two wheeler or four wheeler. So first we will get impressed by the aesthetic. So that aesthetic plays a major role in any product. Okay, and then we will go for the ergonomic. Ergonomic is also most important. But first we will like, so we will give the preference to the aesthetic look. Are you getting? Are you means is it? I think so. You are also agree with that statement. So first we will get impressed by the aesthetic look. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
So yes, yes. Then we will go for the ergonomic. Okay, so this is the most important. So this word you need to keep in mind: aesthetic, ergonomic, sequential, and concurrent engineering. Okay. Yes, then the now factor of safety is there. Okay, so I think you know about it. So the factor of safety is while designing any component, we need to consider the factor of safety, and it is nothing but it is the the material strength to the working or allowable stress. Okay, and there is a formula for the ductile material and the brittle material. Okay, so if it is of the ductile material, then delta will be equal to that stress will be equal to yield strength to the factor of safety, and for the brittle material the stress will be equal to ultimate tensile strength to the factor of safety. Okay, so this formula, so if it is of a ductile material then you need to consider the yield strength, and if it is of the brittle material you will need to consider the ultimate tensile strength of that material. Okay, then how you can you can how the factor of safety is depend upon the magnitude of that particular factor of safety, depend upon the various factors. So how it is the effect of failure, what type of a load, then what type of a degree of accuracy in a force analysis, then material of a component, then reliability of a component, cost of component, testing of the machine element, service condition, and the quality of manufacture. So these 8 to 9 factors are the magnitudes of that factor of safety. Okay, depends upon these various factors. Okay, then service factor. Okay, it is the ratio of maximum torque to the average torque. Okay, it is nothing but the service factor. Okay, sometimes maybe the question may be asked just to find out the service factor, and they will give you the these values, the torque and the average torque, maximum torque and average torque value they maybe give you. But if you don't know the formula, then sometimes you may get do that average torque to the maximum torque. So you should know the formula to find out the service factor, that is K is the maximum torque to the average torque. Okay, then sorry, then various types of a load. Okay, you may know about it: static load, fluctuating just by any example. Yes, what is fluctuating load,
Sir,
what is
repeat.
impact load? Yes, yes, Mandar.
सर स्टॅटिक लोडला वॉटर टँक सर ते एका
Okay,
जागेवर
water.
हे असतो.
Okay, okay. Right, means whatever the thing you are keeping on a table, okay? So that is what static load means. You don't have any dynamism. Means let's consider you have put your mobile on a table, okay, or any heavy part on a table. So it's a static load which is coming onto that table, right?
येस सर.
Yes, yes. Then what is fluctuating?
सर amplitude of load or force changes.
Okay, okay, that is fluctuating. Okay, right. And then impact.
Impact
High force
sudden
applied in short time of period.
राईट राईट मीन्स सडन इम्पॅक्ट म्हणजे हाय फोर्स एखादा सडन आला एखाद्या गोष्टीवरती. ओके, सो दॅट इज वॉट द इम्पॅक्ट लोड यू कॅन कॉल. ओके, देन कॅन यू टेल मी व्हॉट आर द व्हेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ स्ट्रेसेस?
tensile,
Tensile,
compressive, shear,
yes,
bending,
compressive,
torsional.
bending, diaxial, torsional, and the crushing stress. So these are the various types of stresses. Okay, so that word itself also gives you the answer: the tensile one, compressive one. That we will see it one by one. So this is what the stress strain relationship. Okay, when your bar is under tension, then your sigma t, that is tensile stress, is equal to P upon A. The P is what? Your external force which is acting on that bar divided by cross sectional area. Okay, that is sigma T. This is tensile stress, and compressive stress is P upon A. That is again external force upon cross-sectional area. Okay, so the internal resisting force per unit area of the component is called as the stress. Okay, that is what the internal internal resisting force per unit area of the component is called as the stress. Okay, so when you called the tensile stress and compressive stress, okay, here you can see the stresses are called as a tensile when the fibers of the component tend to elongate due to the external force. So the fibers will get elongate, right? Then what will happen in case of a compressive stress? The fibers will get shortened. Are you getting my point? So here is the compressive stress diagram, and here is the tensile stress. Okay, when your component is under compression, okay, when your external force is from the both side, okay, so the fibers will get compressed or it will get shortened, okay, due to this external force. Okay, and the stresses which are developed are called as the compressive stresses. Okay, where in this case when your component is under tension and your fibers will tend to elongate, okay, due to this external force. Okay, the fiber will get elongate and the stress which will develop is the tensile stress. Okay, so this is what the formula: sigma T is equal to P upon A, where sigma C is equal to P upon A, where P is the external force and A is the cross sectional area. Okay, so this is what the stress strain relationship. Okay, yes, now this 1 MPa, I think you know 1 MPa is 1 megapascal, which is nothing but 10 to 10 to 6 Newton per meter square, and where 10 to 6 Newton, 10 to 3 mm. Once you will convert that meter to mm, so that conversion will take place 10 to 3 mm bracket square, and which is nothing but 1 Newton per mm square. Okay, and then strain. Now strain is what? It is the deformation per unit length. Okay, this is strain is equal to delta upon L, where delta is what? It is the elongation of the tension rod divided by L is the original length of the rod, and this sign is for the strain. Okay, and you know the strain is don't have any unit because the will get cancelled. The strain is having no any unit. Okay, and according to the Hooke's law, your tensile stress is directly proportional to the strain, and the E will be taken as the constant of proportionality, and that E is nothing but the Young's modulus or the modulus of elasticity, which is in a Newton per mm square or MPa. Okay, and for carbon, gray, cast iron, the values are given. Okay, so this is what the relation: sigma T, that is tensile stress, is equal to P upon A. Strain is equal to change in a length to the original length, that is deformation per unit length, that is delta upon L, where sigma T, your tensile, according to the Hooke's law, your tensile stress is directly proportional to the strain, where we will take the constant of proportionality as a capital E, where capital E is nothing but the Young's modulus or the modulus of rigidity. Okay, and where delta, okay, is nothing but that elongation is equal to P into L upon AE. Okay, where you can put here this value delta is equal to strain into L, so delta T upon E likewise. So the final elongation delta, you will get P into L upon A into E. Okay, now then shear stress and shear strain. Okay, so this is what the shear stress condition, and that is tau is equal to P upon A. Again here P is the external force, okay, and this is tau is the shear stress, and A is the cross sectional area of the rivet. Okay, yes, okay, so when this plate they are riveted, okay, these two plates are riveted by means of a rivet joint, and when the plate is get under external force P, then the shear will take place like this. Okay, it will feel like this. Okay, so tau is equal to P upon A, shear stress is equal to P upon A is the cross sectional area, P is the external force. Now shear strength. Okay, now here tau is equal to G into lambda, where this is lambda is the shear strength in a radian, where G is the constant of proportionality. Okay, and which is nothing but the shear modulus or the modulus of rigidity, and it is called as a G. And capital E is the modulus of elasticity, and G is the modulus of rigidity. Okay, So this is the relation between elasticity and rigidity. Keep in mind E is equal to 2 times G 1 plus mu, where mu is nothing but the Poisson's ratio. And for each material, the Poisson's ratio is given. For carbon steel, it is 0.29. For gray cast iron, it is 0.21. Okay. And then bending stress. Okay. This is your neutral axis, and this is what the bending stress. Okay. That's EMB, bending moment. And formula is there, bending stress, sigma B is equal to bending moment MB into Y upon I, where your Y is the distance from the neutral axis, okay, where sigma B is the bending stress, MB is the bending moment, and I is the moment of inertia of the cross section about the neutral axis, okay, where I is, if it is of your rectangular cross section, then moment of inertia I is equal to BD cube by 12, and when if it is of your circular cross section, then your moment of inertia I is equal to pi d raised to 4 by 64. Okay, so this is the formula you can you can keep in mind for the bending stress, that is sigma B. Then torsional shear stress. Okay, so the formula is tau is equal to torsional moment, that is sorry, applied torque into R upon J, where R is the radial distance of the fiber from the neutral axis, from the axis of the rotation, and where J is the polar moment of inertia of the cross section about the axis of the rotation. So you can keep this formula in a mind, where tau is equal to applied torque into R by J, where J is the moment of inertia of a solid circular shaft. Okay, where J is equal to pi d raised to 4 by 32. Okay, for solid circular shaft, where you can find out the transmitted power kilo in a kilowatt is equal to 2 pi n mt divided by 60 into 10 raised to 6, where mt is the torque. Okay, where small n is the speed of rotation, and kW is what the transmitted power in a kilowatt. Okay, so this is what the torsional shear stress. Okay, so this is all about the basic understanding of the machine design. Okay, so I hope you have understanding it. Okay, so can we go ahead for the next, or whether to stop?